All right, One Piece 1087. Let's get into it. It's the interesting thing about having like no fans, nobody watch my videos and whatnot, is I don't always know where to go with the things that I make. So usually with my chapter reviews, I've been feeling like they've been too heavy on kind of just recapping the chapter, basically just retelling the events rather than like talking about how I feel about it or like giving some insight into it, because I don't always have that much insight in it, to be honest. But I do feel like just recapping the chapter, you could just go read it for yourself, right? So I'm trying to find different things to do. That being said, please subscribe. Once I hit 1,000, there's gonna be a prize. Not sure what it is, but it's gonna be nice. All right. Anyways, so I'm gonna just recap the chapter real quick because it's a very simple chapter in all things considered. We get a little bit of insight into Aokiji and Garp's relationship, and then we see Garp, he's boxing. That's what a lot of people love about Garp. He just go out there, he just straight boxing people. He's just all about his hands, all about that action and going to work. So Garp is whooping booty, and then he gets jumped by the Blackbeard pirates. They being kind of disrespectful, to be honest. So they get jumped, and then he does his best, and it's Kobe's fault because Kobe's being an idiot, and Garp does his best to try and make the most of the situation because he still believes in Kobe, and Kobe is the future, blah, 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 blah. Then him and Aokiji start boxing, and then it kind of seems like Garp kind of lost this one. And then the Marines that are trying to escape, Alvaro Pizarro was like, nah, y'all not going nowhere. So then we're left thinking what's going to happen. That's a basic recap of this chapter. Garp and Aokiji fight. The Marines that try to escape ain't going nowhere. Cliffhanger. But Garp says everything gonna be okay. So the elephant in the room is what's going to happen to Garp. Is Garp going to get packed up? That is a concern right now. I personally, I don't know. I'm going back and forth. I mean, in many ways, if you've seen like any series or honestly any form of media, like most movies do this, where the old character, he finally gets his big time to shine and then he gets packed up. And usually his mentee is there to see it, and that reinvigorates his mentee and motivates him to do better. I don't know. It's not looking good in Garp's favor right now. Plus, it would be Kobe's fault too, because he didn't see through Shiryu's trap. Kobe came out of here looking like an idiot. Kobe, this is not a good week if you're a fan of Kobe, if you think he's the future and he's going to be an admiral, all that. Garp taking that stab is a big plus for his durability. It does make me wonder, is Shiryu observable through observation haki? It's not clear. People are saying this is definitive proof that observation haki can't pick him up, but I don't think this proves that. The fact that Garp was even able to react as quickly as he did kind of makes it seem like, I don't know, he was able to use some haki to pick up on him. Anyways, about Garp and him dying, the potential death rather, I do feel like it'd be tough if we see Garp go out without having at least one conversation with either Dragon or Luffy. While we haven't really seen him interact with Dragon at all, and we haven't seen him interact with Luffy since what, Marineford? That'd be a tough pill to swallow, to be honest. So why did Aokiji say that he can't let Garp lead? Does he need Garp to stay? What is the reason that he needs Garp to stay? The fact that there is a reason thinks maybe he will survive. Aokiji's basically saying, I need to knock you out. Or it's Aokiji. He can freeze him. So also, let's get into Aokiji. He's been slept on. We have slept on this man. The fact that he was able to throw hands on the same level as Garp, he was punching battleships with no haki and putting in the same damage that Garp was. These are things we didn't know about him. So we couple that with some haki, and we couple that with a very, very strong devil fruit. We got somebody that's a pretty formidable opponent. We always kind of knew of he and Garp's relationship, but getting some insight into how he was basically the Kobe before Kobe, that really helps put a lot of things into perspective here. Even though it is giving Major Jiraiya vibes with his old pupil killing him at the expense of his new pupil. But anyways, I guess this is a look into what Kobe can become. Because if Kobe does end up an admiral, he's probably, I don't know, would he get a devil fruit, or would it be like to honor Garp, he never becomes an admiral and he stays a vice admiral and he's in sword and, you know, doing all this to essentially be the next Garp. I guess that would mean they would have to have a similar fighting style, which means no devil fruit. But I don't know. Aokiji is showing us that you can be similar to Garp and still have a devil fruit. So I don't know. We'll see. So also Garp's bounty. So we basically get confirmation that his bounty is basically 3 billion. So I think this is a way of Oda trying to show us that Luffy's new bounty, that basically puts him on the level of admirals now, which is kind of his way of saying, yeah, we're in the last days, folks. Granted, manga's probably gonna go on for another 4 or 5 years. But he's saying like, this is it. We're wrapping this up after this saga. This is all we're getting. He's basically trying to convey to us that Garp is admiral level and always has been. If anything, he used to be even higher, but he's admiral level. He just isn't an admiral. and he's trying to say, oh, Luffy has gotten really strong now, so he's on that level too. So in my opinion, what other reason would you have to share Garp's bounty unless you were just trying to hype him up? Because nobody's paying all that money. 3 billion berries? Can Crocodile afford that? Can Buggy afford that? I don't think so. So I do think it was just a mechanism used to show as a comparison to Luffy and his journey and where he's at and where the admirals are and different things like that. Is Kid on that level? I don't know. I don't want to get into that. Law, I don't want to get into that either, but I really don't want to get into the idea of having to debate if Kid is admiral level or not. That is not something anybody wants to talk about at this point in time. So the question remains, what's going to happen here? Things are looking really grim. Garp is basically on a stretcher. They got him on heavy pack watch right now, which is not good for a character like Garp. We've seen that the Blackbeard pirates are dirty. They're willing to play dirty. They don't play fair. So I think the two biggest questions this chapter leaves me with is, what is Aokiji's motive? Why is he doing this? Because a lot of the theory before was that he was a member of Sword, he was undercover, he was taking down the Blackbeard pirates from the inside. Looking at this dude fight Garp, his old mentor, which a lot of people thought was the leader of Sword, he's showing no remorse, trying to pack him up. So the Aokiji undercover Blackbeard pirate bandwagon, I'm pretty off that right now. That being said, I don't really understand his motive. It clearly is going to tie back to the Ohara incident and what he went through, kind of experiencing that. But what is his goal right now? Because you don't just be an admiral and then think, oh, this ain't working, let me go join like the dirtiest pirate crew around. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't line up. So there has to be some motive here. We just don't know what it is yet, and I can't tell what it is. My next question is, who is going to save the Marines? Because there's no way Alvaro Pizarro just packs up the whole ship with a bunch of characters that people probably have come to know and love, especially these past couple weeks. Kobe's love interest is on that boat, so there's no way they just get absolutely destroyed. It's not like it's the Kid pirates. Come on now, they're a little bit better than that. Have some respect. That leads me to believe we did get some setup earlier in this arc with Smoker, so maybe Smoker pulls up. This is Smoker's moment to build up some hype. After Kobe came out looking like, the only word I can think of starts with a B. I'm not gonna say it, but after Kobe came out looking like that, this is time for Smoker to come through and be like, no, I'm Luffy's rival, not you. But we'll see. I don't know. It could be anybody. Smoker starts to help out, but somebody has to come through. Gecko Moria is still on the island. Perona is still on the island. I don't know. Is this where Cross Guild gets involved? Mihawk and Perona connection. It was also interesting to see why it's called Hachinosu Island. I think it may have got lost in translation in some of the earlier fan translations during the week, but I was able to kind of deduce what they were saying. Since it is technically Beehive Island, what happens when you keep poking a beehive with a stick? The bees keep coming out. So that's kind of what the Marines are doing to the island. They keep poking it with a stick. More pirates keep coming out and out, and it just seems like it won't stop. So it was kind of funny to see all that. Gave more context to the island and maybe why the Blackbeard pirates chose it in the first place. It's funny because now I'm someone that doesn't read spoilers anymore, right? So usually the day before spoilers comes out or early on the day that they come out, people are like hyping it up based on the spoilers. So it's always funny to see all the hype tweets and all the hype discussion around it. So I was led to believe this was just another crazy chapter, like another in the sequence of runs. I mean, this chapter was great, don't get me wrong, but people were hyping it up like it was just some crazy game-breaking chapter. But I thought this was a pretty standard chapter. I do think the coming weeks will be hyped because, like I said, this has been some run that has been going on basically since Wano ended. Even before it ended, the run has been crazy. So if we don't jump away from this situation, I do think the chapter will be pretty hyped. We will get some character that we knew before showing up to help save the day. We'll see. Only a couple days before the chapter comes out, depending on when I get this video out. Y'all know it takes me some time. Those of you that do watch, I don't even think I have like returning viewers anyway. But once again, I'm gonna keep it going. Y'all keep it going. Thank you. Appreciate y'all that stayed to the end.